Velino mai kako, and thank you for joining me, Naya, once again on a video short from And Still the Waters Rise. Now today I wanted to talk to you guys about writing, editing, and storytelling. And I'm going to encourage you guys to become all three for your own life, because I think if you do, you'll not only deepen your sense of self, but you'll increase the peace, joy, and compassion that you find in your life. So let's start with writing. Ultimately, I think we are already the writers of our own life story, even if we don't choose to acknowledge this or not. So if you're one of those people who's been avoiding looking at that pen in your hand, then I'm going to encourage you to come out of that slumber, to really take up the responsibility that is required to really move yourself forward, because once you do, your storyline is going to greatly improve. And for those of you who consider yourself already awake, maybe you journal, maybe you're a career writer, maybe you read a lot of self-help books. In any case, I'm still going to encourage you to get really quiet and assess your own inner landscape. How are you writing your biography, not just in each day, but in each and every moment? How have you languaged the most significant experiences in your life? How have you come to define yourself? And when you're talking to friends and family on a daily basis, how do you describe yourself? And just as a writer needs to hone their craft, we have to take the time to understand the grammar and the sentence structure of our souls. We have to integrate our first, second, and third person perspectives. It's always easy when we watch a movie to say, oh, they should have put a flashback there, or they should have just kept the storyline simple. But without some practice, we can actually really screw up a great scene in our life if we haven't developed quote-unquote writer's discipline. So I think the first step is to accept that we are innately writers. And then second, we have to commit to mastering our craft. Now, a part of mastering our craft is to find a really great editor, since editors are supposed to be someone other than the writer. And even the greatest stories from the greatest writers need editing. And this holds true for our own life story as well. It's important to find that outside source that helps us get as concise an understanding of our own character development as possible. However, hiring an outside editor for your life story might be a kind of weird thing to do. So most of us, right, we find a friend, a trusted confidant, maybe we even go and see a counselor. But there's actually another way, and one that I hope you guys choose to take a chance on, and it's becoming your own storyteller. Now, I can already hear those of you who are journaling saying to yourself, well, I do this already. But as I have gotten into podcasting, I have to say there's just something about recording yourself and listening to yourself played back that just has an impact that you can't really replicate by writing out your thoughts. And in terms of recording yourself, I'm not suggesting that you do this with anyone else in the room. In fact, you really should be by yourself. So in essence, it's grabbing your smartphone and hitting record. Now, since our life stories are quite long, it's really about picking whatever thread of your story is really important to you at this moment. And just record yourself and then listen to the playback. But you need to commit to do this several times. In fact, you shouldn't feel weird if you do it, a dozen times. So this isn't an exercise to be undertaken in a day or even a few weeks. You actually might want to commit a few months, because it really takes time to edit your own life story. Now, if you want to kind of crank this exercise up a notch, you can actually do this same exercise facing yourself in a mirror. Just make eye contact and then hit record. Now, it's also important as you guys listen to the playback to note to yourself, wow, is what I'm saying more about how I'm improving myself and working to live to my highest standards? Or am I kind of complaining about what others have or haven't done in my own life? When you're listening to your story, do you cut yourself and others down, or are you mindful and grateful? But there's no right way to do this. I mean, the whole point is to tell the truth and then act as your own editor. So each time you listen and then retell your story, work to identify those near truths or flat out lies. Work to identify the excuses and then decide what you're going to do to actually get rid of those. Each time you listen, note where you need to support yourself more, or maybe where you need to find more discipline in your life. Each and every time you listen and retell the story, work to do so with more compassion for yourself. And as you do this, you'll be able to find more compassion for others. So I think for today, that's probably it. And until next time, remember, keep breathing and don't tap out.